This is WOOL-FM, broadcasting out of Bellows Falls, Vermont for the southern Vermont and New Hampshire borderlands, and streaming live to the world from our website, wool.fm. Gird your loins for the holidays, people. It's coming, and boy howdy do we need a good solid one this year. One way to kick it off is at Darol Anger's 5th annual Keepin in the Fam world-class string band holiday show. It's coming up on the evening of December 2nd at 7:30, just up the road at Next Stage in beautiful downtown Putney, Vermont. More info about this show and others at their website, nextstagearts.org. I'm going to play a track recorded during one of last year's Keep It in the Fam holiday shows to whet your appetite, and then we're going to be back with its ringleader, Darol Anger, on the phone to talk about what's happening this year.
Angels singing in heaven for me. Oh, I hear him at the top of the music tree, climbing up to the highest place, fall back down again, climbing up, up and down the music tree. And all our children need time to play. Climbing up, fill your cup to the brim, drink it down. Climbing up, up and down the so lacerate. Won't you close your eyes and then you'll see. So lacerate. And the music shows you how to pray. Climbing up, let the music flow, let your troubles go. Climbing up, up and down the music tree.
That was the music tree from last year's Keep It in the Fam holiday show. And I've got Darol Anger on the line to talk about this year's blowout. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us.
Well, we're rehearsing it up, getting things ready. Thanks for making time for us to talk about this.
You have pulled together, man, some of the country's best string musicians for this thing. It's a knockout ensemble.
I'm super excited about this. The greatest thing about it for me personally is that they're all really close friends, people that I love. So there's nothing like the feeling of going on stage with a bunch of people who you consider family.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great feeling, especially to have Tony Trischka on board. I've known Tony for, about 40 years now. I remember when I first started listening to him way back in 1974, I think. I was living in California in a little beach town going to college, and I would drag people off the street to listen to stuff, Tony's stuff. It was just completely blowing my mind in the best possible way. Then getting to meet him a little later in 1977 and just becoming friends over the years is just a fantastic situation. So
yeah,
it's great to kind of combine forces here and see what we're going to get. I think we're going to get something really great.
For people who don't know Tony Trischka, he's possibly the most influential banjo player in roots music today.
I believe that's an accurate statement. Yeah. He was Bela Fleck's teacher and hung out with Bill Keith. Really changed a lot of people's minds about banjo.
And you've also got Grant Gordy with you on guitar.
Yeah, we've got a couple of youngsters. Grant, compared to me, he's young. He's actually pushing 30 at this point. Great guitar player. He can do anything on the guitar. I just try to play with him every chance I get, because if I want to play jazz, he can play jazz. If I want to play bluegrass, he can play bluegrass, and he's just got this incredible, very original approach to everything. And in fact, we're going even more original on this. I think we're going to ask Grant to mostly play electric guitar on this show, and we're going to ask him to do textures and colors and vibes and play all these beautiful things that are going to go on in the background. He's going to be like the synthesizer player, but on guitar.
That's going to put a great shimmer on things.
I am really excited about it. Yeah, he's going to be like the Northern Lights or something.
And on bass, you've got Ethan Alphabets.
Yeah, Ethan J. I keep saying, hey man, come on, just call yourself Ethan J. And Ethan Yauchevitz. He is definitely, out of the three people in the universe that sound like the great bassist Edgar Meyer, including Edgar Meyer. Ethan is one of those people. Ethan is a brilliant bass player who's helping to redefine what you can do on the acoustic bass. And lovely young fella who is just always positive and great guy. He's currently touring the universe with Sierra Hall, who's one of the new rising bluegrass stars. And the band consists of Sierra on mandolin and Ethan on bass, and together they sound like about 6 people. Incredible, so it's just always wonderful to play with Ethan. And he just, I was at a indoor bluegrass festival in upstate New York about 5 years ago, and I was walking down the hallway to my room with my fiddle, and Ethan came the other way. He was coming up the hallway with his bass and his bow and a big smile, and he said, "Oh man, Darol Anger. There's Darol Anger." Yeah, no, man. And, man, we got a jam. Got a jam right now. Can we jam? I said, sure. And then he completely proceeded to blow me away. And this was even before he started studying with Edgar Meyer. So he is just a fabulous person, and really excited to have. He's going to blow everybody's mind, because he just does it, everything on bass, including things you've never heard.
Nice. And the icing on the cake, Emmy Phelps. Emmy
sings like nobody else. She's got an incredible voice, writes beautiful songs, and she's worked in theater and taught little kids music for many, many years. I'm just very excited about people encountering Emmy for the first time. She's just a brilliant singer, and somebody who really knows how to pick songs. And she and I have kind of gone in and really looked at the possible repertoire for this show and really tried to figure out things that really go deep, without pointing at any one particular tradition. But there are things that transcend everything. They just point straight to the human experience this time of year. She's brilliant at finding that stuff. And she's amazing. Great singer and a really excellent guitar player.
She doesn't just have pipes. She's got 4 or 5 different sets of pipes.
It's true. She's got a lot of different voices. I guess she's a little bit like somebody like Mary Chapin Carpenter in that way. Depends on the song. If it's a different song, she spent a lot of time acting, being an actor, and I think she's got that ability to take on different characters, when she sings, and certainly make you believe them. And of course, when we're really singing the songs that really mean a lot to us personally, it's even more amazing and deep.
I was going back through the Keep It in the Fam Facebook page, and a few months ago when you were putting together the lineup, somebody posted back, "This is going to be epic." Epic in capital letters.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's not going to be epic in the sense of being longer than 3.5 hours, but it's epic in the sense of being unique and incredibly special and, a memorable experience. I mean, we're kind of aiming for an experience that people will remember for decades, maybe the rest of their lives. That's kind of what we need. We're not going to shoot for anything less.
I was watching some videos on the internet from last year's Keep It in the Family Christmas shows, and there's a lot more going on than just great playing and singing. Fellowship, comfort, smiles, surprises.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of going, as I said at the beginning, going on stage with people you love. And everybody involved is just capable of doing so much, and going so deep. And to be constantly amazed as we play the music on stage, amazed by everything that's going on around us, there's no way that can't communicate something to everybody in the room. And on top of that, getting the audience to sing and be involved is a huge part of what Emmy's about. And we're going to get right into that. I think it's really important that, it's any year, every year, all the time, but just especially now, I think is just, getting people in a room together and feeling good and really participating in something together is so important. And that's what we want to do. It's going to be unexpected and it's going to be beautiful.
You have a history of putting together holiday celebration shows.
Yeah. When I think, let's see, how long? Yeah. All the shows with Wyndham Hill, making those beautiful shows that we were involved in. And after that, we made a lot of great Christmas shows with a group called Newgrange, which included myself and Mike Marshall, Tim O'Brien, Allison Brown, Todd Phillips. That was an amazing thing. That was about 2 years of real heaven. The last 5, more like 7 years, I've been doing a Christmas thing. Just about every year, anywhere from 2 to 7 or 8 shows. Just seems to be a thing that I love to do. And what's nice is that Tony has also done a lot of this on his own. And the fact that we're going to combine our efforts here and see what we get, it's going to be wonderful. We don't really know what's going to happen, but we know it's going to be good.
How's the Fam series different than the others that you've done?
What is it exactly about this one? It's happening now. Actually, what is really more interesting about it is that having Emmy as the focal point for the vocals is kind of different for me. The instrumental virtuosity thing is important, but it seems to be less important now. It's more about, the way we work as an ensemble. And the fact that we're really doing an intergenerational thing here, more and more, as Tony and I and Emmy, to a certain extent, advance in age. We keep meeting these wave after wave of lovely, young, beautiful musicians, you know, and they like hanging around us, and we certainly love being around them. You know, just being around the younger musicians just keeps us fresh and excited about everything.
Let's take a break and play a couple from last year.
Yeah.
And after that, if it's okay, I'd like to talk about, you know, you and your adventures some, because I've got you on the phone and you're an interesting guy.
Sure.
And what do you think? Bright Morning Star and then Came Upon a Midnight Clear?
Yeah, we just run them together. That'd be great.
That was Bright Morning Star and Came Upon a Midnight Clear. Those were from last year's Keep It in the Fam holiday show. And we're on the phone with Darol Anger, whose 5th annual Keep It in the Fam holiday show is coming up. Next Stage, Putney, December 2nd. Advanced tickets are available online at nextstagearts.org. They're in person at Turn It Up in Brattleboro or the Putney Co-op in Putney. More information at that website, nextstagearts.org, or you can call them 802-387-0102 if you don't do the computer thing.
It's great to be coming up there. You know, I love that area. Yeah, great place to be. It's a beautiful theater. They've done all kinds of renovation on Next Stage. I've known those guys for a while now, and they just keep making it better and better. Very exciting to be there.
Yeah. Are you guys going to have any dance tunes? Is the dance floor going to be open?
Well, I'm convinced that you can dance to everything that we do, but we'll see how that goes. I'm sure that no, I'm not going to say no to the dancers. That's for sure. Bring them on. We're doing all these very traditional tunes, but it Came Upon a Midnight Clear. You obviously heard that we're not really doing it that traditionally. We're kind of turning it into sort of a R&B kind of tune with like some fancy soul and kind of walking the tightrope with it. It's kind of exciting. I'm not sure exactly what the combination will be, but we might take it down to just 3 people. But which 3 people will it be? We'll see.
Show up and
one of the
find
things that I'm excited about the show is that I have the ability, people tell me anyway, to be pretty funny. And Tony Tushka is probably one of the funniest people in the world. And so it's going to be, with all the, spiritual and, good feeling and everything, we're also going to have a lot of laughs. Going to be some hearty guffaws.
This is the part where I make you blush. Surprisingly, not everybody knows who you are. So you founded or co-founded the David Grisman Quintet, the Turtle Island String Quartet, Psychograss, the Montreux Band, the Furies, the Republic of Strings Ensemble, Fiddlers Four. You've played with or produced a whole mess of heavy hitters. There's Grammy nods and awards sprinkled through the whole thing. It's a pretty good pedigree.
Yeah, because I'm old. I've hung out for so long. I had to do something. It's been an incredible run, and it's not over yet, hopefully. One of the things about being an artist or a musician or anything, really, it's being in the right place at the right time. Somehow that all happened. I was around for the, in the area where they, invented, the Windham Hill record label, and I was living close to where David Grisman was back then, and there's just so many things. Now, of course, we got this huge community of young, great musicians in the Boston area, and here I am. Somehow made it to Boston. I don't know how that happened, but here I am. And I'm just trying to, continue to be useful for any of this stuff. You just have to make sure that you spend enough time practicing your instrument to make people enjoy listening to it. I think. That's part of it. But also, I love being around people, and I love playing music and just talking to people and learning about stuff. And oh, wow. I think I'm part of that tribe of people that can't stand to be left out of anything. What do they call it? Fear of missing out. There's an acronym for that. FOMO or something like that. Sure. And I know that some very well-known musicians have that syndrome, and I think I'm one of them. Yeah.
Well, what do you consider your best achievement so far?
Oh man, I think probably working with the younger musicians. I realized, I'm not the kid in this band anymore. In fact, I guess I'm the oldest person in the band. Whoa. And starting to lead bands and just hire the younger players. I think that sort of kind of officially started maybe with the Republic of Strings band. And that band started with myself and a great guitar player, Scott Nygaard. He was very well known in bluegrass circles, and he was a great teacher as well, and wrote a column for Acoustic Guitar Magazine for many, many years. And that first ensemble happened to include Brittany Haas and Rashad Eggleston. And if you know anything about acoustic string music, you have heard those names. It's both brilliant, brilliant young players. Well, Rashad is an international maniac who has changed the world of cello completely. And Brittany is one of the most admired fiddle players in the world at this point, maybe the best at this. That always changes, but she might be the best right now, and is currently touring with the Dave Rawlings Machine, Gillian Welch. That band had a lot of pretty well-known names moving through it. Sarah Watkins was the fiddle player for a while, and Tristan Claridge was playing cello with us for a long time. He was a 6-time national fiddle champion, grand world national fiddle champion. He had all the adjectives, and in fact, it was nice keeping him on cello just so as not to scare all the other fiddle players too much. And who else do we have? Gabe Witcher, the guy that plays fiddle with Punch Brothers, was in the band for a little while. Yeah, we just had a constant stream of incredible young players going through the Republic of Strings. And Mike Block played cello with the group for a couple of years. And of course, Mike now is the other cellist in Yo-Yo Ma's Silk Road ensemble. And if you're going to be the other cellist in an ensemble that includes Yo-Yo Ma, you better be pretty good. And Mike is amazing. And I get to see him all the time too. So I could just go on dropping names like crazy here. But the point is that I get to experience these kids when they're young and brilliant, and I get to sort of, I get great energy, but I also get to, give them the benefit of whatever experience and expertise I've accumulated, even if it's only to, tell them which parts of the deli tray are really good to eat, it won't make you sick in the dressing room before the concert.
And the three of you are educators as well, you and Emmy and Tony.
That is true. Yeah, Tony and I work at this amazing online music school called artistworks.com. And Tony regularly comes up and visits and teaches at Berklee College of Music, which is also where I teach regularly now. For the last 6 years, I've been a professor at Berklee, which is kind of miraculous. And Emmy has spent years, in the trenches, in public schools and private schools, working with kids of all ages.
That's so important.
So we have a big background in education.
On the other end of the FOMO spectrum, you've also got the SimCity soundtrack and Car Talk.
Yeah, and I produced a really wonderful, I was just thinking about the Natalie McMaster project called Blueprint that was really fun, and I got to make use of a lot of my Nashville connections for that. Yeah, it's so interesting, being part of that first wave of people that were taking bluegrass instruments and doing other kinds of music with it. And I count those people, people like Tony Rice and Jerry Douglas. Bela was kind of in the second wave of that, but I certainly count him as one of the most influential. And of course, Tony, who we're playing with, you get to see Tony do his thing. It's an amazing community, and I just feel lucky to be a part of it in any way. It's been great, working with, getting to be around David Grisman, who is basically, kind of a institution now, and Mike Marshall, who I toured with for very many years. And it goes on and on. To count those people as my friends is almost unimaginably great, and I'm a very lucky guy. So I'm trying to pass anything that I may have picked up that's positive off those kind of experiences to the people that come and show up at the concert every time I play.
You mentioned Windham Hill. You've had a long association with the Windham Hill labels that Will Ackerman started, and he's another transplant. Yeah,
he's got a beautiful little ranch out there in the hills, actually pretty close to Windham. Yeah, he's, Will is kind of just doing what he feels like doing now. It's kind of great. He's playing guitar, and, occasionally he'll have a musician in to record something, at his little recording studio, but I think he mostly just enjoys life, which is a lovely thing to think about. I am absolutely enjoying life, but I can't stop doing stuff. It's, and he says, well, why don't you just, take a break or something? And I'm going like, what would I take? I just, we got a limited time here, and I'm going to make the most of it.
Seems like there's about 3 fiddles that you mainly use, including a 5-stringer.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going 5-string on everything at this point. I own, 3 or 4. Yeah, 4 fiddles. One of them has 4 strings, and I use that when I'm teaching because having a 5-string can confuse people. Most of the world plays a 4-string violin, and so you don't want to confuse anybody when you're trying to show them something. But that's the only reason that I would use a 4-string at this point. I love the extra string. It's like having a viola and a violin all in one. And I don't know. I just go for that low stuff. I like the low stuff, and I'm not big or strong enough to really play the cello, so I'm just going for kind of a viola sound. Yeah, it's a blast.
So it's an extra one on the bottom.
It is. Yeah, it goes down instead of up.
Cool.
Got a beautiful fiddle made by a fellow who lives very close to Putney, actually. His name is Nathaniel Rowan, and he is a brilliant young guy, younger than me anyway. I think he's just hit his 30s, and one of those people that knows a lot about building, but it doesn't seem to hurt his building. He's got a great intuition, which he combines with his knowledge to, do beautiful things, create instruments that look different from normal violins. He's not scared of paint, and he's not scared of, different shapes, but they all sound terrific. They sound like great violins.
I'm not a fiddle player, so I didn't know that this thing existed until just today. If I'd been drinking milk, it would have squirted out my nose. Fiddle Hell, Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah, Fiddle Hell. Yeah, that actually it's like a little fester. I call these things fester in a box, because it's like a little festival. It's like a little fiddle convention that happens at a beautiful little, it's kind of a resort or convention hotel, but it's out in the middle of, like Marlborough, Massachusetts, which is famous for nothing except for Fiddle Hell. It's just a beautiful spot. I think people go there to look at leaves changing and stuff like that, maybe, but it's, man, when the fiddle players take that over for 3 days, it is something. It's a sight to see and a thing to hear. It's absolutely wonderful. That just happened. That happens first weekend in November every year, and it's fun because there's almost as many teachers as there are students. People that come to learn, but most everybody, no matter whether you're a teacher or you're a student, you just come to jam. So people are jamming on every kind of fiddle tune, every kind of music that you can imagine all the time in the halls and the rooms. It's just maniacal.
Is it fiddlers only, or are fans welcome?
Oh, we got fans, yeah, especially for the concert. Fans can come and attend the concert. Each of the instructors gets to play one tune, and the concert goes for about 2.5 hours, even at that. So it's very, it's just, you get the whole spectrum of fiddle playing, But we get a lot of different instruments, too. I mean, it's not just fiddle players. You get guitar players, mandolin players, banjos, people that you need, If you, you can't be all fiddles. You got to have some people playing chords for you and things like that.
Are there any other gatherings or events in the general geographical area that you'd recommend to people?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's that amazing music festival called Fresh Grass, and that is way the heck out on the west coast of Massachusetts, right? It's in North Adams. You go over the Berkshires, and all of a sudden you're in this little tiny town right on the edge of Massachusetts. It's got a big art museum, and that's about it. And they have this amazing music festival in mid-September at the museum, and it's fantastic. It's called Fresh Grass. It's a great thing. Of course, if we're talking like the general area, Hudson Valley, you have the amazing and continued presence of Jay Unger and his family, Molly Mason and those folks, and they have run probably the oldest music camp for non-classical musicians around. It's called Ashokan, and you may know it from the beautiful Civil War tune Ashokan Farewell. And they do that. They do a series of events now all year because they bought that property right on Ashokan Reservoir, right just south of Woodstock, New York. And they always have things going on. And it's really funny because Jay Unger, it's like sort of the anger confusion connection, and I've actually often had people, especially in the airport, come up and say, "Oh, you're Darol Anger. Yeah, I love that Civil War tune you wrote." So, thank you. I'll pass it on. So, and Jay is, of course, a genius in so many ways, musical genius and a great fiddle player. There's so many things going on. Of course, if you go to Boston, there's always something going on. Club Passim, one of the oldest and strongest folk music clubs in the country. And we regularly play there, of course. You can always hear some of the newest and most exciting young string musicians and singers, songwriters there. Yeah, I remember going there quite a few times to see Lake Street Dive, for instance, before they blew up. Of course, now you can, they'd have to play there 20 nights in a row to accommodate their audience. Yeah. But it's a beautiful place to hear music and see musicians up close. You mentioned the name thing, Unger. That brings us to Anger. You probably don't think about it. I mean, you're such an affable guy. Anger, is it weird to be named Anger? Yes, it is weird. and those of us who have a funny name, that might be weird to pronounce and things like that. I think we all, we're kind of a little tribe in ourselves. I know that, there's other people that have funny names. Yeah. To me, it's just a sound anymore, really, but it's probably French, actually. That's what I think. There's an Anger castle in the Tyrolean Alps, which I've driven by but not gone into. But there's also a town on the Loire River in France called Angers. And I think that because my dad's side of the family came in through the upper Midwest and was in Wisconsin, they probably came down the St. Lawrence Seaway, and there's a lot of French came through that way. That's my guess, if they were actually from French Angers rather than the Tyrolean Angers. One of the funniest things was playing a bluegrass festival in Angers, France. And this was in like 1986 or something like that. And man, it was just like, I was expecting like a little parade or something. But nothing like that happened. I did get paid, which was lovely. Yeah. Somewhere you're a king. I suppose so. We all are, somewhere. I got nothing else. Well, I think that's, it's just going to be just a maniacal, wonderful, beautiful, extremely moving evening. Very excited to come up there and play this music. So, we just hope to see you all. It's going to be a great night we promised to give you all nice intermission enough to visit with each other and say hello, and then we'll get right back into it. That's Darol Anger talking about Darol Anger's 5th annual Keep It in the Fam holiday show coming up December 2nd, Next Stage in downtown Putney, Vermont. Advance tickets available online, nextstagearts.org, or in person at Turn It Up in Brattleboro, or in person at Putney Food Co-op in Putney. More information on the website, or you can call them 802-387-0102. And Darol, this has been a great conversation. Well, thank you. I certainly enjoyed it. Everybody always loves to talk about themselves, so that was great. We're going to go out on Mason Dixon. Yeah, this is about coming home for Christmas, wherever you're going to. That if you come home, it's going to be what it is.
songs about Jesus with a good friend of mine. Oh, you know, Mama's gonna be in the kitchen baking some pumpkin pie. I've been away so long, my accent's gone. They send Dixon's home before, oh, tell them I'm coming home. Buy me a bottle of bonded whiskey, I'll come to dawn. They send Dixon's home alive, oh, tell them I'm doing fine. Buy me a bottle of bonded whiskey, talk over road.
Nice encourage.